This is Bristol Bay, a 40 million acre region in southwest Alaska. It's a vast and remote wilderness dotted with small villages. The region takes its name from this 250-mile-long body of water. This is the story of Bristol Bay Native Corporation. Bristol Bay is awe-inspiring. Its natural beauty and rich cultural history has linked its inhabitants with the land and the water for generations. Bristol Bay is home to the largest sockeye fishery in the world. Millions of salmon return here each year on the way to the rivers and the streams where they were born. Human history in Bristol Bay is closely tied to this natural resource.
I had 8 siblings, and my mom and dad raised us all, and back in the sailboat days, he got into commercial fishing. Fished until he was 85 years old commercially. They were respectable people within the community, and they taught all of us good values to live a good life in the community, and as a result, hopefully that we will be respected as well for what we are.
For thousands of years, the abundance of this food resource attracted Eskimos, Aleuts, and Indians, a melting pot of Alaska Native culture that thrives to this day. In the mid-1960s, with many economic and cultural changes on the horizon, the natives of Bristol Bay organized to preserve the lands that had sustained them and their families for generations. Native rights to land in Bristol Bay and across Alaska were established when Congress passed the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act of 1971. Bristol Bay Native Corporation is one of 12 regional native corporations created by the Act to manage lands and money from the settlement and to advance economic development for its shareholders. Jason Matrokin is President and CEO and a shareholder of Bristol Bay Native Corporation.
Really, it's founded on people and land and resources that BBNC really holds as precious to the corporation and its values, and also its vision for the future.
Suzanne Lovell is one of thousands of people who work for BBNC or one of its many subsidiaries in Alaska and around the world.
My occupation is administrative assistant for Bristol Industries. I've been with them for about 7 years. I grew up in Aleknagik, Alaska, and Dillingham and Anchorage. I grew up pretty much on the boat with my dad and my brother, commercial fishing every summer. It was actually nice. You got a little bit of the city life and a little bit of the rural. Subsistence was actually a pretty big key part in my family. When I was out on the boat with my dad during the down times in between fishing periods, would bring king salmon or red salmons home to my mom, and she would split them and dry them and smoke them, and I look forward to it every summer.
Ruel Carlson is a truck operator for Kakivik Asset Management, a subsidiary that specializes in non-destructive testing and inspection for the petroleum industries in Alaska and beyond. While he enjoys the benefits that come with his job, he also understands the larger contribution he and his fellow employees are making.
We provide Alaska Native shareholders all those jobs that lead to scholarships, and with those scholarships, they lead to a training. It can lead them into other avenues of whatever field that BBNC is invested in.
The challenge that we faced, I think, as corporate leaders is that we have to listen to our people, and although we're set up to be a profit-making corporation, the balance has to, be viewed and listened to people carefully, and when it comes right down to it, the people that we serve have to be happy with what we have.
BBNC has grown from humble beginnings to a modern corporation with thousands of employees around the world. BBNC is made up of over 50 different companies in its 5 major lines of business, including construction, government services, petroleum distribution, industrial services, and tourism.
BBNC over the last 10 years or even just prior, we have become a much different company today than we were some 10 plus years ago. It's really been an interesting change because we've found that by being more public, by being more market focused or communication focused, it's really changed BBNC in terms of our financial success. We're telling people what our strategy is. We're telling employees where we want to go from here. And now that they understand that, at least we hope they do, that in turn has brought financial success to the corporation in ways that we hadn't seen ever in our corporate history.
Like all Western corporations, BBNC is in business to make a profit. But unlike typical companies, BBNC's profit is used strictly to benefit its shareholders.
BBNC employees are really part of something, and that something is giving back to the people of Bristol Bay, as well as protecting and developing our lands and resources. The families and communities of the Bristol Bay region are very strongly knit together. People rely on each other, they depend on each other to make it through the seasons. And BBNC and its culture is very based on family. We care for each other, we watch out for each other, we support each other, and we rely on each other to make sure that the job gets done every day.
Our corporate logo, the Eternal Circle of Life, communicates BBNC's cherished stories and deepest values.
So the logo for BBNC is very unique. It's focused on fish, and we have a value of fish first at BBNC. It also represents the cycle of life for the fish, and the cultures of the region are represented by the three colors in the logo.
The corporation has paid over $200 million in dividends to shareholders, as well as provided benefits such as scholarships, internships, and employment services. And BBNC provides advancement and scholarship opportunities for non-shareholder employees. For managers like Travis Woods, President and CEO of Bristol Alliance of Companies, the connection between the success of the company and the benefits to shareholders sets BBNC apart.
And one of the things that I love about working for BBNC is that when we make profit, it doesn't go to 3 or 4 owners of the company, it goes to 10,000 shareholders. So when I tell staff that this is more than a job and you should be proud of it, is that it's pretty powerful to be able to impact the dividends in a positive way where it will help the shareholders, because enriching native way of life, that's one of BBNC's mission statements, and we 150% support that. And so if you have staff that's not connected to that message, I'm not doing my job. And I feel that we kind of keep making sure people are connected, and you should be proud of it that you do have that ability to positively impact shareholders' lives.
For BBNC Board Chairman Joe Teiflich, the way forward is very clear.
These are our main 6 goals that we now have that the board and management team work together to ensure that we have a successful corporation. To build the financial strength of BBNC, to pay predictable and increasing shareholder dividends. We want to balance responsible development and protection of our lands, fisheries, and resources, increase shareholder employment and development opportunities, and we want to continue to support educational, cultural, and social initiatives that positively affect shareholders and our descendants. And finally, we want to and aim to help develop economic opportunities in the Bristol Bay region.
For employees like Suzanne Lovell, being a BBNC shareholder lends her a special perspective.
To be a shareholder to me means that I belong, makes me feel like I belong to a corporation and a region and an area that I'm proud to represent.
The future of BBNC is very bright. We're very well diversified. We have great investments, we have great operations that provide BBNC strong earnings, and we're always on the lookout for new opportunities. You can't overlook some of the simple things. It's all about trust and honesty and good ethics, being transparent and providing good communication to not only our shareholders, but our employees and the public as well.